It is the Riot Podcast. This is the Friday, July 28th edition. Today in the show, we got some good stuff. We talk about children drinking non-alcoholic beer, alphabet dating. But first, before we get to all of that, Chicken Wing Day is coming up. National Chicken Wing Day. As of the recording of this, Chicken Wing Day is tomorrow, July 29th. Isaiah, first of all, the age-old question, boneless or traditional?
Depends where I am.
Oh.
There's certain
Some
places
nuance,
where I'm...
huh?
Uh-huh. There's some certain places where I'm going to go traditional every time versus boneless. One of the most well-known places, B-Dubs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going boneless every time.
They
Boneless
have good
medium.
boneless wings, yeah.
If I go to Roosters, more of a local place,
Mm-hmm.
traditional every time. I'm doing traditional hot. If I'm doing wings over, I'm doing neither bone-in or boneless because I'm doing their chicken tenders.
Okay.
There, and so they have like fried fingers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Where else is there? Those are the main ones, right?
Yeah. I tend to, if it's B-Dubs, I'll go boneless. But many other places, especially if it's like a local sports bar type place, like not a chain, then I'm more likely to do the traditional.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm more likely to lean boneless than bone-in. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I feel safer.
In my heart, I feel like I like bone-in better. But I just think Buffalo Wild Wings, they don't give you the biggest bone-in wings. They don't give you the highest quality. But the boneless ones, they're usually a safe bet there. They're usually real good.
The only thing with bone-in is then you're dealing with the mess.
The sticky fingers.
Them fingers, boy.
Yeah, well, they give you wet naps, moist towelettes to amend the situation there.
I just don't like it all over the face.
Oh,
I'm a pretty clean.
True.
I'm a pretty clean eater. As over a whole, and for me, traditional. If I'm eating them, that means I'm committing.
Yeah.
To being a little messy.
And you and I, we have mustaches, so that adds an extra layer to the equation. So do you? If you do get traditional, where do you stand on licking your fingers?
Oh, you can lick them.
Yeah.
If you get traditional
I'm a big
wings,
finger licker.
If you get traditional wings, there's a lot of steps you're gonna have to take to get those things polished off.
Yeah.
And no matter how much of it you eat, if you're there with your dad, he's gonna say you haven't polished it like you should. Get back on that bone, boy. There's some meat left. You know. Every time you try to leave a restaurant with chicken wings, your dad's gonna be upset because you didn't get his money's worth.
Yeah.
Because you didn't finish the chicken wing he would have.
That's
every
so
time.
true. Yeah. Or my aunts would tell me if it wasn't with chicken wings, but with drumsticks. You got to get that nib off the end. That's the best part, they would say.
Oh, that's wild.
They'd say,
you
got to suck like the bottom of the drumstick.
I'm over here suckling a wing.
Part.
I'm suckling a bone.
Yeah. You got to pop the cartilage off. That's the best part, they'd say.
That's crazy. That is not the best part. That's a useless part.
I don't know. They've lived to be like getting close to 100. So
there's like no
maybe
meat
that's
there.
Their key.
It's all breading. There's like no meat on the end of those
breading
things.
in the cartilage.
What they want you with that cartilage in there, boy.
Get that.
Get on in there real deep like. They say...
What are you doing?
They say that people prefer drumettes to flats. How do you feel about that?
I disagree. I think I like the flats better.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like the quality of the meat on those is better than the drumettes.
But
the drumettes are easier to eat.
That's why I like the drums, because I'm gonna eat the drummies real easy like. And the flats, I think the meat is better. You're right. I never thought about that.
Yeah, the meat is way better.
The meat is so much better on those, but they're way harder to eat.
Yeah,
messier. How do you eat them?
Do
you poke the finger through?
Pop it. Yeah, pop the thumb. Pop a thumb through the middle. Just poke a thumb in, and then you're good to go.
See, I go back and forth. Now, my other question is, you don't break them apart.
No, I don't prefer to do that.
I like to break them apart.
It depends.
Also,
breaking apart works too.
This is a wild thing that I do if I'm eating traditional wings. I'm a one-hander.
How do you do that?
It's a lot of mouth work.
Yeah, I should say so.
It's a lot of mouth work. It goes slower that way too. I could go way faster if I committed both hands, but then I'm getting a whole other hand messy.
Dirty, yeah.
And I don't want to play with that.
You gotta have one hand free and clear to use your phone or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm a one-hander.
Yeah.
And so it slows me down.
You ever known anybody like this? It sounds like you could be like this. They take the chicken wing, the bone-in wing, and they just simply put it in their mouth, like with bones and all, and just kind of like...
Oh, my brother does that.
Pull it out. I don't know how to...
my brother does that.
Yeah, you could probably like tie a cherry stem into a knot too.
He like crushes. He has a whole technique. He like crushes it down, dips it in the ranch, and then just suckles the whole.
Do you dip the wings in ranch?
Of course I do. Yeah.
I never did that, but I'm
Really?
I'm getting to be more of a ranch.
No ranch
a
on the
ranch
wings.
but I also don't
used to.
usually eat typical hot like buffalo wings. I usually go barbecue
You
or
barbecue it?
yeah, sometimes.
kind of a
or,
man,
you know
are
what I
you?
really like? I like the Chipotle dry rubs.
Oh, I'm a fan of dry rubs.
On a traditional wing, those are great.
On traditional, that's the key.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do a dry rub on a boneless.
No,
There's
I hate
no
that.
way.
I hate that.
Whenever I see that, I'm disgusted.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm getting buffalo almost every time. Some sort of hot wing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm never getting barbecue. I used to as a child. Now I'm doing some sort of hot pretty much every time. And unless I do a dry rub, which I don't ever do. But whenever I see them, I'm like, those look fire.
The dry rubs are always so good.
They look good.
You have to put it on a traditional wing.
Yeah, no way you're doing it.
Yeah.
That boneless.
You got any other
dry rub?
wing questions?
Those are my main takeaways. I'm eating the celery that comes on the side every time. I'm dipping it in ranch.
I tell them not to bring it.
Oh, I tell them celery and carrots if they got them.
Both.
If they got carrots, I want those too. I want them both. Anything else? Eating all the meat off the bones.
You do blue cheese?
Oh no, that's gross.
No, yeah.
I'm never even touching
That's
blue
wild.
cheese. There's not a chance. I'm leaving that.
Ranch
to the
over
side.
blue cheese every time.
Yeah, I'm not even asking. If they say you want blue cheese, I don't even want it. I don't even want it.
Yeah. You throw it in their face.
That's wing talk.
Yeah. Happy Chicken Wing Day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the show. And we will catch you next time.
We'll see you guys.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
We do a lot of relationship advice for like people trying to get into relationships, have success early on in dating. We even had a relationship expert on the show yesterday. You can find that on the Worst of the Riot podcast. Well, how about some relationship advice if you've been in a relationship for a while? You want to make sure it continues to feel fresh.
Oh, things are getting stale.
Yeah. You're ready to switch things up. You need to add a little
heat it up.
spice to let's do it. You ready for this? Here's what you do. You go alphabet dating.
Okay.
Alphabet dating is where you pick a letter in the alphabet, and that determines what you do for the date night.
Okay, so let's give me an example.
Okay? A. You maybe you pick a restaurant to go out to with A. Starts with A. Applebee's.
Applebee's.
Obvious
All right.
choice. All right. This is going to keep the relationship going. This Applebee's.
I like the way you're thinking.
But then you pick an activity to go with the Applebee's that starts with A.
Okay.
Axe throwing.
Axe throwing and Applebee's.
Yeah, there you go.
How you doing now?
And
how
all of a sudden, things have gotten a little more steamy, a little more spicy. You've reinvigorated things.
We're doing Applebee's. We're doing axe throwing. Maybe we're gonna bring some apple slices, some apple bottom jeans.
Sure.
What else do you want?
There you go. Yeah, you go to Alaska.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
maybe
perhaps.
Atlanta. Maybe get a place a little bit closer.
Sure.
Atlanta.
But and this is how you do it. And then you just every time you have a date night, you go through the alphabet. You keep picking different letters. And if you get all the way to Z, then you get married.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So then that would take, how many letters are there in the alphabet? 23? 26.
Yeah.
So 26 date nights. That's over the course of 26 weeks.
Yeah. I think that sounds.
You're doing one a week. That's about half a year.
Half a year. And if you can make it through if you can find some stuff to do for X, you're destined to be together.
That's true.
Something you can agree on. If you can have a xylophone date night, that's a sign that things are going well.
Yeah, I don't know where the heck you're going.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no places to eat.
Probably like Xerxes Persian cuisine.
Maybe you're just eating something that starts with X. Maybe you can't go out.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe you watch a movie. Maybe you watch Triple X. You just stay in that night.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, with Vin Diesel. Boom. Taken care of. X-Men. Also an option.
X-Men. That's a way better option.
Clearly. Yeah, some of the nights more difficult. They might be more difficult than others to plan. Q, also one. I do have to question what you would do.
But then once you get that far down the line,
things
you'll
are
have
clearly
to figure it out.
Yeah.
You're doing better. Things are doing better.
You might be able to leave alphabet dating behind if you're getting all the way to Q, X, Y, Z.
Yeah, you don't need it anymore.
Yeah, you've reinvigorated things already.
Yeah, you guys are already heated up.
You found a new spark.
Exactly. Once you get to like J, you're going to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, that's what, like 10 dates?
That's got to be 10 dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing good at J.
You know by then.
Oh, yeah.
You know. where things are headed. All right, I think this is helpful for everyone.
I hope so.
Add a little Riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
You know Kristen Bell, right?
Yes.
Kristen Bell, actress. I don't know if she's most well known for this, although this has got to be her biggest role, right? Is she's in Frozen. I just don't know if people realize that.
She's also in The Good Place, a little TV series.
Yep.
Bad Moms.
Right.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. She's Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
She is Sarah Marshall.
That's who
isn't
Sarah
she?
Marshall
Yeah,
is?
she's Sarah Marshall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Good movie.
A wild Veronica Mars, a lot of people would remember. So a great career. She's married to Dax Shepard, who has a fairly popular podcast, as I understand it. Also an actor. And they're kind of well known because particularly because of the podcast. They're just out there talking about their parenting style. They're kind of unique. They're so unique to get this. Earlier this week on the Kelly Clarkson show, Kristen Bell was a guest. She said that she lets her daughters, who are 8 and 9 years old, drink non-alcoholic beer.
That seems wild.
That
Seems interesting.
That's a unique parenting style.
I don't even know about the style. What style is that?
The style of letting them have non-alcoholic beer. I don't know. But see, it has sparked a debate. People have really begun to question, is there anything actually wrong with that? Because, I mean, it's non-alcoholic, right?
It's not illegal.
It's not illegal.
We do this all the time. Just because it's not illegal doesn't mean that it's not wrong.
But is this actually wrong, though?
It's wrong.
They also make alcoholic versions of Mountain Dew, and nobody would say that some people would say, but that's more for health than, like, it's wrong that kids shouldn't have Mountain Dew.
True.
You know what I mean?
That's a good argument.
It is a good argument.
But I still am against.
Although, I mean, you can go way back in history and say that alcoholic Mountain Dew came first, but really, like, Mountain Dew came first, and then came along hard Mountain Dew. So if non-alcoholic beer came first, it might feel a little different than the way we view it now. So it's hard to actually, because she says too, like, here's an example. Sometimes the kids will literally ask these two 8 and 9 year olds, they'll literally ask at a restaurant, like, do they have non-alcoholic beer here?
No, they don't.
They do,
No, they don't.
And then Kristen Bell has to make the hard call of, well, should we actually order that for them? Or is that something that just is kind of like an at-home thing? Because there's definitely a stigma about it. So wait, so you're definitely anti non-alcoholic beer for children?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
But I don't understand what is. I feel like I've laid out a pretty good argument.
You have, but
for why it shouldn't be wrong. So what's the argument for why it should?
My reason for why it shouldn't be wrong, and I think it's very case to case as well. And this case is even worse. Because like their dad was like had like an addiction issue.
Yeah.
So that's already in their that's a bloodline thing. I don't care what you said, it's a bloodline thing. And so when I think about it, is they're given because the actual non-alcoholic beer, the reason people use it is for like the taste, right?
Yeah.
And so you should,
which is surprising to me.
Yes, but for like the 8 and 9 year old, you don't want to like get them like hooked on the taste of that anyway. They shouldn't be tasting that. It's like it's a certain taste. They say like when you first drink a beer, this is what they'll tell you is you're gonna hate the taste of it, but you'll get the taste of it down the line. Like the more you drink it, the more you'll like it. And so if an 8, 9 year old starts to like that taste, they start to get that taste at restaurants. Then what's gonna happen when they turn 21? That's all they're gonna want to drink.
But if it's already a normal thing and they already know they can get the taste without having the alcohol, then maybe it's not such a thing.
I just don't think that introducing that to their kid, like if I had an 8-year-old, which I don't, but if I had an 8-year-old, I wouldn't be like, you know what, we need to introduce them to beer. I'd be like, you know what, you're 8 years old. Why don't we introduce you to Dr. Pepper? A Sprite. I feel like those are much more appropriate things.
Some might argue non-alcoholic beer is healthier than those things.
We're not doing that.
I will say this. I guess technically, I also don't have an 8-year-old. I would probably not be like, let's introduce them to non-alcoholic beer. So it's weird to me that they started trying it. Apparently, it's because Dax Shepard is a recovering addict, and
seems like a weird way to introduce your kids.
He would have non-alcoholic beer as like, you know, so he could still get the taste because I guess he liked it. And so then the kids happened to taste it. It wasn't like, here, try this. It's just the kids got it and they liked the taste, which again, surprising. And so that it's weird. It's weird to me. But I guess it's not a problem.
I'm against
I can
it.
see why it actually could be a
I would just say
positive.
this isn't for you. I would say no, this isn't for you.
Yeah.
Because I think if I have what looks like to be a Bud Light or Michelob in my hand, my kid should be like, let me have a drink of that. I want one of those. And then that's when you say no. But this isn't for you.
You know what happens though with kids when you tell them no, this is grown-up stuff? That makes them want it more.
Yeah, but
and
they
so
can
if
wait.
you just give them non-alcoholic beer, maybe it teaches them the beer. Again, if you like the taste, you can get the taste without having the other side of it that can get out of hand.
But if I give a kid diet pop, you know what they're gonna want? They're gonna want real pop.
I don't know about that.
They're gonna want real pop. They're gonna be like, I'm sick of this diet. I'm sick of this diet stuff, Daddy. Give me the real thing.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
You ever heard of unapproachable makeup?
Unapproachable makeup?
Yeah.
Like too much makeup
This is a new
going on?
It's a new trend that women are doing, and it's designed with you in mind, I think.
With me?
Yeah.
You know, the crazy thing is there's nothing that can keep me from approaching.
Not even
At least
the
not
unapproachable makeup. Here's the idea. It's that the gals will put on a certain style of makeup before they go out somewhere with the thought process of, this will make me look good, but it'll also make me look intimidating to men. They aren't going to want to come up to me. They're going to want to leave me alone. They say it works like a charm, some of the proponents of this, and it only takes about 10 minutes to get yourself all dolled up in the unapproachable makeup style. And so here's...
This is a wild style. I'm looking at the video now.
Uh-huh.
This is a lot to handle.
It's, let's see, how would you describe it? They say dark eyeshadow, tinted bronzers, and bold lip shades. And that's supposed to scare away the likes of you and other single men, and maybe not single men that might be looking for someone to talk to.
It is intimidating. I won't lie. This is intimidating. As I look at these photos, it just changed. But obviously, it changes the whole look of the gal when they do the before and after.
Yeah.
And they do look much more intimidating with that dark eyeshadow going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I can't say it would work on me, but that's because I'm afraid of all women, and so I wouldn't approach any of them. But it definitely, I just don't know if it has the effect that they say it works like a charm. To me, I don't know. Maybe it's kind of a thing on the margins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're already getting approached by 25 men and you can get it down to 15 because you don't want to deal with it, maybe that's worth it.
See, for me, I think that this would work on me because this isn't really my style. This isn't the girl that I would approach.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe if they did, this is going to be crazy to say, maybe controversial, I don't know. If they did their makeup differently, I would approach. But since they're doing this whole thing, this isn't my style. This is too much glam for me. This is a lot of glam.
Yeah.
We're looking very glamorous.
Isn't this such a wild life to think about, though? That you have to, as a woman, if you're fairly attractive, you have to dress in a certain way just to keep people from talking to you constantly. I hate when one person talks to me. Forget about having a whole night out where I can't be left alone.
You know, but maybe this is the other side of this is too. How much are you really getting approached? Are you really that
I
hot?
think you might underestimate. I don't think you have to be that eye-catching for just a minute, especially if you go out to the bar at night or whatever, for just a million men to just keep bothering you.
I think that you'll get approached, and I think too, I asked my friends, some of my gal friends who are cute gals, and I always ask, whenever I see them, how many times have you been approached? How many guys have approached you tonight? And there's always more than one.
Well,
it's always 2 or 3, whatever it is. So I guess it's how much you're willing to take. If you're okay with being approached on one night 3 times, then maybe you don't have to do this. If maybe you're a little bit more irritable, you're not about getting approached, maybe you don't feel like it, you throw on this look here, and it's at least going to scare me off.
Out. And what's better, being approached by a bunch of people you don't want to talk to, or spending a few extra minutes on your makeup and looking maybe a little kookier than normal? But
I like how you call it kookier. That's the word of the break.
A little kookier than normal, but at least you don't have to talk to so many people. And you can still have a nice night out. If you don't,
I guess so. I mean, this, yet again, I didn't think it would work on me. But after seeing the final result, it would. Because yet again, this isn't, if I saw you looking like this, I'd be like, ooh, a little too much for me.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
I've got a new staple you need to include in your diet. You want to stay healthy and live a long, happy life. It's something you can simply do, and that is olive oil. The new research suggests here that having olive oil every day could be the key.
Like rubbing it on your skin?
No, you got to eat like a spoonful.
Oh.
I mean, you don't have to eat it plain, but you add some olive oil to. There's a lot of things you can do with olive oil, right?
What about canola oil?
No, not the same. That is absolutely not the same. Including olive oil in your regular diet, according to this new research, would reduce your risk of dying from dementia by 28% if you have just one spoonful every day. This is...
and we're talking peanut oil?
No, we're talking olive oil.
Olive oil.
Olive oil, they just announced at the meeting for the American Society of Nutrition is where they presented these new findings. So, I mean, does dementia frighten you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgetting everything you know? Yes, it's scary.
Yeah, I don't think we...
It's like one of the worst things that could happen to you.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe the worst thing that could happen to you.
And I don't think that we're young now. I don't think we pay enough attention to making sure it doesn't happen to us, to taking the steps as when you're in your 20s and 30s, like until you get to 60 or whatever, you're not thinking of dementia.
No, you're not even considering it.
And but when you think about how frightening it actually is, probably should be.
You wake up every morning and now you know a little bit of coconut oil and you're good.
No, it's olive oil. Why are you doing this? Don't mislead people. We need olive oil included in your diet. It might help you prevent dementia. It might help you stave off dementia later in life. And you'll thank your 20-year-old self when you're your 60-year-old self and you don't have dementia.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Does it?
I mean, I don't know. They always say these wild things.
Yeah.
That you're just like, apparently are supposed to help you.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into all the mumbo jumbo of why and how, but
we just don't question it.
These are real nutritionists and scientists, and they know what I presume they know what they're talking about.
And people put avocado oil like on salads or whatever it is.
Except that that's not the oil that would help them in this way. So you could just swap it out though for olive oil on your salad.
Is that one of the healthier ones?
Yeah, it's the one that we're talking about right now. Is the olive oil.
The olive oil.
Yes. Like from Popeye.
I'm with it. I mean, I know what olive oil is, obviously.
You know,
cook with it.
What do you cook with it?
You can you put it down and it makes things slick. Like if you're making pancakes.
Did I use olive oil?
Yes, you do. I do.
You do not.
I've poured it in.
What kind of pancakes are you making?
You pour it in and you kind of rub it around.
Yeah.
And then it no longer sticks to the pan.
Yeah, but I doubt you're using olive oil for pancakes.
I'm pretty sure I have.
I think I find that unlikely.
I think you can put any oil in there and it'll make it to where it's not sticky.
Yeah, it does.
I'm
but
not putting it in the mix.
Olive oil has a different taste.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm not putting it in the mix. And there's not a lot of options here at Radio U, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
It's whatever's in the cabinet. If I need a non-stick, there's never butter here. I bring the butter.
Uh-huh.
And so if I don't bring the butter, then olive oil it is. I've also used canola. I've also used the spray.
We're going to have to start stocking olive oil here at Radio U so we can make sure we prevent dementia as the American Society for Nutrition recommends.
I'm with it.
Yeah. I like olive oil.
Hey, you know what? I like it too.
It's time to find more creative ways to use it.
Oh, hi there.
This worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
And what would you do, Isaiah? Let's say you've got a gal, a girlfriend, maybe even a wife, as is the case here. You guys are taking a trip together. You're taking a flight.
This sounds like fun.
You're going on a nice little excursion. But to be able to sit together, you got to pony up a few extra bucks on that for that plane ticket to make sure that you guys actually are able to sit next to each other on the plane. How much extra would you pay?
That's a good question. How much extra am I willing to pay to sit with my girlfriend?
Yep.
There's no way I'm paying more than $17.
17 is your limit?
I think 17 is probably tops for me. But that's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah.
That's my budget. I don't know what yours is.
Yeah, it depends on how much you
And I'm cool sitting
have.
solo. I've sat solo on a lot of flights.
Yeah.
I've been solo for a while. So for me, flying solo, middle seat, that's my go-to.
Yeah,
I'm more comfortable there anyway, because that's how I've been flying as of late.
That's the environment you thrive in.
Exactly. That's what I'm used to at this point. So maybe having my girlfriend next to me, you do get a lot of bonuses with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worth $17. Do I think it's worth $20? I don't think it is.
That's where you draw the line.
$20 seems a little steep. It's going to be 3 hours. Get a whole vacation with you. What do you want from me?
Yeah, but isn't it worth $20 to make sure she doesn't have to sit next to a stranger? She might get upset.
Oh, she's going to be mad?
She might. There's many reasons why she might get angry. One is that she has to sit next to somebody she doesn't know. Nobody likes doing that, except for you, apparently. Also, she feels like you might not want to spend time with her, perhaps.
I just scheduled a vacation for us.
And if it's important to her, then it feels like you should want to pay more than $20.
That's crazy.
I mean,
talk.
if it was a big price, that'd be one thing. But $20. Here's why I bring this all up is because this is an argument that's being hashed out right now on TikTok, where a woman married, her husband decided on their trip that it wasn't worth $11
Ooh,
to sit.
11.
So his limit was lower than yours.
Jeez, 11's tough. I mean, that's a bad look.
Paying who knows how many hundreds of dollars for the plane tickets, but don't tack on that extra 11.
11, that's you're shallow.
We gotta scrimp and save everywhere we can, honey.
No.
And so
11, you gotta do
sorry,
that.
you're gonna have to go it alone. And we'll each make our own path here on the plane, and we'll meet back up afterwards. How's that sound?
11's that's too low.
Find me at the baggage claim.
Because I think at $11, there's benefits to it for everybody. Because then you get the lean. Everybody wants the lean on the plane. You get that lean going. That's a good thing. You get a head on the shoulder. Oh, man.
You can watch the same thing together, share an AirPod.
It's worth $11. For me, is it worth 20? No. 11, yes. 20, no.
I think
But 11, yes.
20 doesn't feel like a bad limit just because plane tickets are so expensive. 20, I feel like with the amount you're paying, you should actually be willing to pay more.
Because I think, too, I would just say we can use it on something else when we get there. I would say, you know what? I know exactly how I would do it. I would justify it like this. I would say, you know what? For the 3 hours in the plane, we're going to be miserable on there, whether we're next to each other or not.
Mm-hmm.
How about we save this $20 and then we spend it on night one, we get dessert? What do you say? Huh? Cheesecake? Oh, 3 hours next to each other?
Yeah.
Or cheesecake? I'm taking cheesecake. What do you want from me?
I don't blame you. But I think even as a guy, it's worthwhile spending a few extra bucks, not just to keep your girlfriend or wife happy, but also to make sure you don't have to sit. Like, it's a total gamble. You could get next to a child. You could get who many people don't like sitting next to. You could get next to somebody who stinks, somebody who doesn't shut up. There's just like Isaiah. There's just so many options that you could get stuck next to, and paying that extra $20 to make sure, or 11 in this case, to make sure that everybody's happy. I don't think it's that bad of an idea.
Hey, 11, I'm in on 11.
Yeah.
20, I'm out.
20 too much.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.